Alright, so let's finish up Ikrashidiki Sinarkando. So if you watched the video where I talked about what's wrong with them, you know the cards that I pulled out to see about replacing them. So there's the lands. Mana base will not change unless I go through the pips and I decide that I need to change that. I'm not adding any black to the deck, so I don't think I need to increase the number of swamps that I have. The deck is kind of light on black. It's mainly green-white. But maybe I should put in another swamp. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, so let's start with the easy changes. This is what I pulled up to kind of think about taking out. So I'm not sure. But let's do the easy changes, like I said. I also thought maybe the deck could use more card draw. One thing I considered was Guardian Project. And Guardian Project, of course, if you're playing Commander, says when you recast a creature spell, draw a card, because you're not going to have any creatures of the same name in your graveyard or in play. So, Putrefy. I really like that I've got the original foil, Putrefy and Mortify. I like the guild logo there. I just like it, but it's too narrow. Only destroys an artifact or creature. Of course, the creature can't be regenerated, but it's time to go wider to have something more versatile. So put in Beast Within for Putrefy. Actually, it doesn't matter. What I'm putting in is kind of the same. Replaceable. So I can destroy any permanent. I'm not limited to artifact or creature. Of course, if it's a creature, it can be regenerated. Controller gets a booby prize of a 3/3 token in lieu of whatever the hell I decided was a lethal threat and more threatening than a fucking 3/3 token. And the same with Mortify. Actually, it's kind of cool that I did it that way, because Putrefy is black-green, Mortify is black-white, so green card replaces the green-black, white card replaces the white-black. I like the art on this. The art on this is weird. I like some of the weird art cards. I like them a lot. I miss the days when we had more bizarre... When Phil Foglio... Back in the days when Phil Foglio was a recurrent Magic artist, and he did some cool shit. I mean, he did Eureka. He did... I'm trying to think of one of the funniest ones he did. Cooperation. That one's pretty funny. So a generous gift. It's just Beast Within, except they get an elephant token, and it costs white. It's the same fucking card. Hand of Justice. Okay, the deck... I really don't have enough white creatures to make this guy work. So he has to sit for a turn, because I don't remember if I have any way of giving the creatures haste in this deck. I do not recall at this moment if I have Boots or Greaves in this deck. I don't think I do. So if I don't, I have no way of giving him haste. So 6 mana, he's a 2/6, he comes down, and he's got to sit a whole turn before I can tap him and 3 other white creatures I control to destroy a creature. I like the art. I like that it's an old card. I like that he's a 2/6 in this deck, because toughness matters in this deck. That's one of the themes. Life gain and toughness matters are the themes, and that, as I explained in the video where I talked about it, is the problem. The deck doesn't have any synergy. It has themes. It has cards that work together, but it doesn't have any real synergy. It doesn't... The cards don't really build on each other the way Tivar with elves do. Or, God forbid, Edgar Markov with the vampire. He really builds up on shit. And I've got other decks that are incoherent, like Kenrith. Kenrith is a fucking powerhouse. I mean, he can do some shit. And he's one of the decks that he's just on the verge of being too much for Prague and needs to go to Ostruzhna. Just on the verge. I'm not sure exactly what I would need to change to push him over the edge, or really what I should change to bring him back from the edge, but he's right there. He's riding the fence. So anyway, take out Hand of Justice and put in this guy. Just got this guy yesterday from LGS, Old Sworn Giant. 4 double white, 3/4 Vigilant Giant Soldier. My other creatures get +0/+2 in Vigilance. Yeah, I mean, let's have an impact on the board. So as I was going through the video, talking about the problems of the deck, I started thinking, maybe I should make Vigilance kind of a sub-theme. So he gets there with that. He helps with that idea. With this change, the other thing I think I want to do is put in Nelia Keen-Eyed. 3 and a green for a 5/6 god. She's indestructible. And if my devotion green is less than 5, she's not a creature. She makes my creature spells cheaper, and then I can spend 2 and a green, show off the top card of my library if it's creature, put it in my hand, otherwise put it in the graveyard. I don't know what to take out though. Really don't. So let's just take a quick look. I was thinking of taking him out, but his neg X, it's not really that much. So +2, he comes into play at +2. 1 damage to creature player, I gain 1 life. Okay, fine, big fucking deal. And then next turn, he's got 6, assuming he hasn't been punched in the face by an unblocked attacking creature. He's got 6 loyalty counters, so I can put a creature as seems he's 6 or less from a graveyard right into play with no restrictions. I don't have to bounce it at the end of my turn, I don't have to sacrifice it, and I don't have to do shit, just put it in play. So that alone makes me think I should keep him. Let's check the other recursion. Elixir of Immortality. 2, gain 5 life, shuffle it in my graveyard back in my library. Not really sure if I need this in here. It can play out of the graveyard, but it doesn't play out of the graveyard that heavily. So, and there goes the battery indicator. Son of a bitch. Alright, fresh battery, let's keep it going. So we're looking at Elixir of Immortality. I'm not sure if I need that. Corrosion Restore, 2 and a green, untap a land. There are cheaper ways to do this, but she can untap. Well, Cabal Coffers is the best thing she can untap. She can also, let's take a look. She can untap Volrath's Stronghold, Winding Canyons, High Marcus. I can sacrifice 2 creatures. She can untap You have my hollow, so I can regenerate 2 creatures a turn, or regenerate a creature on 1 turn and then have it ready for another turn. She can untap Coffers. She can tap this yoke, and I can use another turn as another blocker. Other than that, she can just untap my lands and give me mana. I should probably put Thawing Glaciers in here if I've got her, really. So I can get 2 basics a turn. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should take a Rainbow Veil for Thawing Glaciers. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take out Rainbow Veil, I'll put in Thawing Glaciers, and I'll leave the Corrosion Restore in the deck. Exploration. This is great in the first turns if I've got a handful of land. It's good in later turns if I'm drawing cards and I can play more lands. The thing is, though, it kind of doubles up on, where is it? And I'll show you. So I've got, let me find it and I'll show you what I've got. I gotta fucking find it. What the hell is it? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I've got Looty Booty. I can play additional land each of my turns. And I passed him. I passed him without acknowledging him. How rude. I hope he doesn't decide to hide in the deck because I have insulted him. My Llanowar Scout. So this guy, 1 in the green, he's a 1/3. I could put a land card from my hand on the battlefield. So this will let me play more lands. But I've got 2 other ways of doing that. I don't have a whole lot of mana rocks in this deck. I've got a mana rock, 1 singular. I've got a soul ring. I've got no other mana rocks, and I've got 4 ramp spells. I decided I'm just going to keep the Soul Sisters. They stay. I'm not going to take them out. Same with the Nighthawk. This guy just put in. What about this kitty cat? It's cute. I don't want to think about it too much. I'll keep the kitty cat. So, kind of exploration. Is Natalie a keen-eyed better than exploration? She comes into play later, but I can. She also can get my creatures out. Maybe I'll do. Okay, I'll do that. I'll take out exploration. Of course, I'm not going to sell it because I like that version. I only have 1 of them. So I'll put Natalie a keen-eyed in lieu of exploration. And I'll put Thawing Glaciers in lieu of Rainbow Veil. And see how that works. And I'm taking this tonight. I'm taking it to the game tonight, so I'll be able to test those changes, see how that works. I thought about taking Seedborn Muse, because if I have more things to give all my creatures vigilance, I really don't need her to back up my attackers and make them into blockers. But if I have loot and I spend 6 and tap him, then the next opponent's turn I can do the same thing, and so on and so forth. So I decided to keep her in the deck. Alright, so that's it. That's the possibly unsatisfying changes to my Icarus Siddiqui Sidar Kondo deck. Anyway, I'll test it and see how it runs. I'll let you know later.